flowchart by me. So you can see CSP, if it's not seen, not visualized, then it becomes of agenesis of corpus callosum we should suspect. The septal leaflet is not visualized, then this could be because of the severe ventriculomegaly, could be lobar holoprosencephaly, septo-optic dysplasia, or schizencephaly. If there is abnormal morphology, then it could be because of the uh, abnormal morphology, such as if the length and width ratio is less than 1.5, then it could be because of partial agenesis, dysgenesis, or hypoplasia. If the width of the CSP in the midline is increased, then this could be because of the Dijor syndrome or trisomy 21, 18, 13, as we have discussed earlier. So whenever you are performing an anomaly scan, just make sure that in all the planes you are able to visualize the Cavum septum pellucidum. Once you have seen a septum pellucidum, you should look at its morphology. How is it appearing? The width length is greater than the width. If that sometimes the length is maintained but width is reduced. In that case, if you are able to visualize the entire corpus callosum normally, then it is a normal thing. You should not label it as something abnormalities. Once you have evaluated the CSP, make a routine habit of acquiring the fetal brain image in the mid-sagittal, demonstrating the corpus callosum, posterior fossa structure, thalamus, brainstem, and vermis, to document the normalcy of the corpus callosum. If you have made this your routine practice, you will not miss any anomalies of the corpus callosum or at pathologies which can occur secondary to the cavum septum pellucidum. Various its morphology. And once you have diagnosed it, then you should counsel the patients how their prognosis is going to be. Is it isolated or it is associated with the other anomalies? Isolated means only if you have done a thorough evaluation of like fetal brain, rest of the systems, you perform this testing, genetic testing, and you have performed the MRI at around 28 to 32 weeks. And despite that, no other anomalies are found, then we call it as an isolated. Even in isolated cases, these anomalies can be present in up to 15% of the cases postnatally. So this counseling is very important because they should be aware that what we are going to have their outcomes postnatally. And for septo-optic dysplasia, we cannot predict the outcome prenatally, because even if it's normal thickness of the like optic chiasma, we cannot predict the vision. There might be some visual abnormalities postnatally developed. And also the pituitary dysfunction, we cannot predict prenatally, even postnatally up to 3 to 5 years of age. With this, I